guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha Zindu. Today we have Project Pan. It is very messy in front of me. I just did my makeup full face Project Pan. I love doing that because, I mean, everything that I have in my Project Pan are things that I love using anyway. So I always love the way my makeup turns out when I do that. We have a couple empties, guys. The time has come. I also have a little boo-boo. I spilt water on my measuring, what do you call this? Book. Oh, okay. All right, that's where my mind's at today. Can't even think of the word book. And I also don't know where my scales are, so I'm having a bit of a chaotic morning, but we're just gonna continue on anyway. I don't measure everything. I do picture visuals, I do markings, it just depends on the product. So this week, this month, we're not going to be measuring, but honestly, I think we'll be okay. I'll let you know how I'm going either way. So we're gonna start with my Morphe 2 Hint Hint Skin Tint. Everything's falling. So here we have it here. I talked in my last update, I wasn't sure if I was gonna continue on with this one, because such little progress happens. Granted, I don't use this every time because I have my everyday makeup drawer as well, where I like to use all the foundations that I have, and I am a foundation fanatic, so I do have a lot. So this is never going to be my most successful pan. However, it's pretty steady each month. It is going to take me a whole year to finish though. So let's have a little look. I've done the recent measurement. The bottom line is where I'm at right now, and you can kind of see. So this has to be shaken before use because it separates, because it's like a serum-y texture, and it has settled. So I managed to get a line, but we can kind of see that is 6 months worth. I brought this in January, and it's going to take me a whole year to finish this. Do I want to commit to one foundation for the whole year? I don't know. I think I'm okay to keep it in for another month. I think when I get to a point where I just can't stand it anymore, I will take it out. But it's a beautiful foundation. So I have the shade Hint of Marshmallow, which is the like fair light neutral shade. I do think it swings a little pink though, just FYI. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep it in another month, see how we go. But it's beautiful. So I continue on, but also it kind of pains me that I might only finish one foundation in a whole year, but nonetheless, you don't need a lot of this. Little bit goes a long way. Like I can use one whole pipette is more than enough, honestly. So that's why it just takes so long to dwindle down. My concealer is the e.l.f. concealer. We are doing very well. These are estimates where I think I am, and I've been using this a lot. So I only bought this in last update, so we've only got 2 lines. That's my guess at where I am. However, when I bring the stopper out, which I'm not at that point yet, I'm still getting a lot of product, I try and push it to as far as I can, because once you take the stopper out, it is mess city, which you'll see in my lipstick. It is crazy messy. So until when I don't get that a good amount of product anymore, then I'll take the stopper out, and then it'll probably push back up because I'll push all that product that's up here down to the bottom. But for now, I am making progress. I do love this concealer, and I'll be excited to finish this one. Next we have my powder. So, I didn't use this today. So I have thoughts on this. So this is my Models Prefer Mineral Finishing Veil. So I'm doing really well. I would say that I'm over halfway now. If we have a little visual, I did take a picture of it, but I'm gonna show you this anyway. So I am making really good progress, and I think I'll keep it in, but I need to stop using it as a setting powder. It's not a setting powder, Sam. It is not a setting powder. It is a finishing powder. Let's just do a little bit now. So what I usually do is I've got my big fluffy brush. Because I use too much, I try and set my face, and it looks really nice initially, but then by the end of the day it gets all separated, because I'm using it like a setting powder, and I shouldn't be doing that. And I'm doing it because I want to use up the powder, like it's all my own doing. So I'm gonna put some in there, I'm gonna tap it off. I took the stopper out, it was really, really messy. Either way, it's gonna be messy. And then I'm just gonna buff it, because it is a finishing powder. It's got a beautiful luminosity to it, but I haven't been using it the way it's supposed to be used. So I've been a bit naughty. And then by the end of the day, my makeup just ain't looking great. This is one that I usually, what do you call it, weigh. But it'll be good to see next update if I can find the scales, how much I actually use. It's just gonna give me a nice all over glow. So this is kind of like the Hourglass finishing powder, except in a loose form. So I think I'm doing pretty well. This started about 3/4 full. So I'd say I've used about a quarter. That's my guess. But it's getting quite low, which is exciting because I would love to be able to finish it. I've had it for a long time and it's a big powder, like it's a mountain. All right, my Mecca Max cream bronzer, I have no update. There's no visual update, and I haven't been using as much as my powder contour, so there'll be more progress on the powder contour than this one. But yes, I tend to use this more in summertime. I am more of a, I don't know, I love a matte look in winter. Some people are the opposite, but that's the kind of girl I am. My Nudestix lip and cheek, I do have a little bit of progress. I put the pen on the paper, the wet paper, and it has bled. It is about 1 millimeter's worth of difference, so I don't even know if it's worth showing you. I brought this in last update, so this is my first update since having it. I've had it for 1 month. I have used it. I took it away with me. Are we gonna focus? I took it away with me because I love it on my lips. I did put a little bit on my lips in the center. I'm wearing it with my Demi Matte Lip Cream. And it's just kind of glossed it up a bit. So beautiful on the cheeks. I love this thing. I think I am going to buy the full size when I finish this because it is heaven. Absolutely heaven. I have nothing else quite like it. But I've used about 1 millimeter's worth. Sorry, not my best month. I'm also thinking, like, am I going to do a switch up next month, like a half yearly switch up? I don't know, because I am a committed gal. I don't like half finishing something. It actually irritates me to half finish something. I am someone that likes to finish the whole thing. Even if it takes me a whole year, I like to finish something and then be done with it rather than just having half things everywhere. I don't know if you're like that, but I'm like that. So that's why I like persist. Like with this foundation, I'm like, it's annoying me that it's such slow progress, but I can't just put that back in. I have to finish it. I've made a commitment to myself, you know? Next we have my eyeshadow. I am wearing this today, but I can tell you, I think I only wore it today. And there's no reason, like it's beautiful. I've used it as an eyeshadow base and then my eyeliner. See that shimmer metallic eyeliner? That is this here. So I have used it once today, but that's usually one that I weigh, but there's not gonna be any difference. And then this is the matte side. So these are a dupe for the Huda Beauty. They're from the Australian Kmart brand, which is OXX Studio. And if you're in America, Kmart is massive in Australia. It is our version of Target. Targets don't do that well here. Kmart's, they hit. Go on the Australian Kmart website. It's amazing. It's like your American Target. Anyway, this was like $2. It's an amazing formula, and I need to use it more. Plain and simple. Now we're getting into my face palette. I've created my own face palette. I've taken them all out because I took pictures, but they all go in here. This is not in my project pan. This is just a Chantecaille single in the shade Coriander. And I just use it for when I'm like super busy, super rushed. I'll just use this face palette for literally everything, and maybe like a tint and moisturizer, like blah, 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 quick. That's why it looks disgusting. So when I will have to clean this at some point. Today would be a good day to clean it. It's very dusty. I should clean this today now that I don't have everything inside of it. It's disgusting. But it's just gonna get dirty again, so it's like, what's the point? All right, we're gonna start with my Nars blush. This is the Orgasm blush. I had a little trio. I finished the Laguna bronzer, and then I had the Orgasm blush and the Orgasm highlighter. So I depotted it and put it in here with some other things. So I will depot something if it is insanely good. So like this bronzer, this contour, like, and I'll put it together because I'm like, I can't let it go because it's too good, but I don't need to keep the whole palette for this one product. I'm sure you guys do that too. So here we have the Orgasm blush. It's doing really well. I'm very proud of it. And I will admit though, there was a tiny thin slither at the top here, and you can even see the shadow of it. It just cracked this morning. Oh, stop focusing on my face. So you can kind of see that where it's come off, but it was only a tiny bit. But I'm doing really well. It's really opening up. I think it's really hard when it's in a palette to focus on one area, especially when it's such a small pan. But I am going to focus up this side. It's very thin up this side, and I think once I've kind of captured this amount, I might repress it. I mean, it hasn't moved. I think if it starts to crumble, then I'll repress it, but it's doing really well. It's not budging. It is the blush I'm wearing today. I love Orgasm. A lot of people don't, but I love it for my skin tone. I think that the peachy pink is just, I mean, I love a peachy pink, can you tell? It's just beautiful. So I really enjoy that. And then we have the Orgasm highlight. I don't think you can buy these individually, but they often put them in palettes. And this Nars highlights can do no wrong in my eyes. This is never gonna have as much progress as a bronzer or a blush for obvious reasons. You don't need as much. And this blush is already glowy, so I often go with a tiny bit of this. So, but I do love it. I actually put it on my eyeshadow because I don't have any shimmer eyeshadows in my project pan. So I actually put this over the top to give it a little bit of oomph. My eyeshadow palette is a matte palette. So yeah, that was another way for me to use this, and I love it. I love it. And then we have my contour. This is the ABH Contour from the palette, or ABH Contour palette. This is the fawn shade. So this is for your fair skin tones. And this I've had for years, and I use it regularly for years. It's like the never-ending product. I am gonna get to a point where the rim is still thick, but everything else is really thin. I'm gonna have to repress this soon. I might even do it soon because I'm getting in there and it's kind of becoming a bit finicky. So I actually wouldn't mind repressing this. I don't like when there's that thin rim. I like it to be in the center. So I might have put that on my to-do list to repress that. We'll see how we go. And I might make it go a bit faster too. It's like the slowest product. And then my bronzer is from the Tarte Pro palette. It had like 3 highlighters. No, it had 4 highlighters, a cream bronzer that I finished, and a powder bronzer. This powder bronzer is insane. It's like one of my favorites. I'm wearing it today. Happily use this all the time. It's so easy to use. It always does the job well. This whole palette that I have is just like a good go-to make your own face palette. So I just love that it's in my project pan because I love using it, and it's a great reason to be like, oh yeah, good, every day. I use this pretty much every day, apart from my everyday makeup drawer where I try and mix it up. But you're going to see the difference in the photo that this here is becoming really thin. I'm getting to a point where it's going to break, and then obviously I'll have to repress it. Oh my god, my brain is not working today. So that's where I'm at with that. I hate that it's in a rectangle. It's not conducive with a large bronzer brush. However, I love it, so we don't complain. I am going to be adding something to this palette. Because I talked about how I need to stop using this as a setting powder and start using it as a finishing powder, I'm gonna add a setting powder. And it's this from Nars. It is the Soft Velvet Pressed Powder in Snow. They discontinued these, I believe. You might be able to get it, but I think these got replaced with the new Soft Matte, you know, the circle pan powders. I could be wrong though. Now this has no magnet on it because this was a tester from work. So it came in like a plastic casing, not in the actual thing. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to sacrifice this. I'm gonna have to take this out and just have it on my table so that this can fit in here. So I'm gonna just place that in there. But this is, I've used it for the first time today. Not ever, but like for the project pan. I used it today to set. Okay, so here is my lip. This is the Australis Girl Boss Demi Matte Lip Cream. You can't get this anymore. They have some shades you can still get, but they don't have the really nice nudie shades. So I want to finish them. I love them, but I want to finish them. I have this one and I have another one. So this one is the more pinky one. The other one's more of a neutrally kind of color. This is like a nice warm pink. I've taken the stopper out, which is what I was talking about. It's disgusting. But when I tell you I'm almost finished, it's very exciting. I've tried to like do a little scrape and like a lot comes out, but then there's like nothing left. So that's essentially all that I have left. I think I can do it in a month. I reckon I can finish a lip product. It's very exciting. There's really not much else in there. For obvious reasons, lip products take forever. And like this is still a lot, but I wear this often as my first lip of the day. And then throughout the day, I'll have like a gloss, or I'll even reapply with my other lip product. I will be so excited to finish a lip product. I might even finish this one. This is all that I have left. And I didn't do, I'm hoping I took a picture last month, but I want to say I've used a couple millimeters. I've used a lot. So this started like quite long. This is from Chantecaille. It is the Lip Tint Hydrating Balm in Sunflower. This was limited edition, which is why it's in my project pan. I love it. I use it all the time as like my top up lip in my bag. And I think that, I don't know if I'll finish it this month, because I really want to focus on the Australis, but maybe 2 months, because this tiny little bit will still last a while. But I wear it a lot. So if I can finish 2 products, that would be so exciting. I need to really focus on those 2, because halfway through the year I would love to be able to finish 2 lip products and bring 2 new ones in. I would love that. Come on Sam, you can do it. You've got 1 month to do this. My lip line is from Makeup Forever. My lip liner is from Makeup Forever. This is discontinued, I believe. I think you can still get it in America, but I can't find it in Australia. It is the Aqua Lip in 3C. This shade in particular is really hard to find. It's phenomenal. It was my wedding day lip liner. I wear it every day still. And here's my progress. It has bled a little bit, but that's where we're at now. So I'm losing at about just under a centimeter a month, just under. So then next we have my eyeshadow palette. This is an all matte palette from Makeup Revolution. It's very old, but it's one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. This is the Reloaded Basic Mattes. So I've had quite a few of these Reloaded palettes before, but this one is exceptionally better than all the others. All the others are a little bit heh. I had a red one that I loved, like a really reddy, goldy toned palette that I loved, but this is my favorite. I won't ever declutter unless it fully breaks, whatever. Otherwise, I'll never declutter it. It's really old, but it still performs. So I'm wearing this on my eyes today, along with that highlighter, and I really went all out. It's Project Pan. So this was my base. Then I have, this is my most used shade. Then I have the pink in the inner corner, and then I use this in the outer corner. So I used 3 shades today. But I love it if I want more of a purpley cool tone or like a khaki kind of vibe. It's just got everything that I could ever want. I could talk about this palette for 1 hour straight, if you let me. Oh, my fragrance. I finished my fragrance. I can't get that little bit left out. I'm trying to, what I do is I find it on the, where that thing is, the spray, end of the spray, and try and angle it, but I'm really struggling. I'm calling this done. This is the Tocca fragrance called Emelia. This was full. This was full when I got it, and I loved it. It's a really citrus laundry fresh. It's got that powdery citrus, very slightly floral, very slightly. It's very much, it reminds me of the new Maison Francis Curtis-Jean 724, except I think they discontinued this one in Australia. I don't know about worldwide, but you can't get Emelia in Australia, which is why I got it from work as a full bottle. And I really enjoyed it, but I finally finished a fragrance, which is fantastic. I totally missed one of my products. That's right, I'll do it at the end. My MAC Fix Plus I haven't been using, but I've been feeling really dry lately, so I'm gonna see what happens if I don't shake it. because I hate the shimmer at the bottom. It goes all weird on my face. So if oh no, it's gonna pump up. There's not really much progress, so I'm not gonna bother making a line, but you can kind of see. I mean, there is a line, isn't there? I'll do a line. I'll do it for you guys. But I really need to make a conscious effort of using this one. What I was trying to say is I'm usually very oily, but this weather has been really cold and dry, and I actually haven't been getting very oily. So this kind of product I will use more of because it's hydrating. Like when I know I'm going to be really oily, I don't like wearing this because it's just going to, it's not setting my face, it's a finishing spray. It's just going to make me more glowy. So I think I will use this more now in the next month. Hopefully I'll have some good progress because I want to finish it. I love it. But I don't love the pink one. I like the original one personally. And then lastly, I've missed it. I don't know how I missed it, but I have my primer. I missed it because it's the absolute top first one. I finished my primer. This is the OXX Bloom from Camo, Australia. This is a serum primer. Really nice and hydrating, and I managed to finish it this month because I've been more dry and I've been like lathering it on. It's been quite lovely because it really does feel like a serum oil water. It's very light but very hydrating. So I really enjoyed that. I finished it. I've got a replacement. So we officially finished 2 full products, didn't we? Yes, I finished 2 full products, and I'm also adding in a powder. That's right. So I'm going to replace it with my Revlon Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing. I've used about half of this. I had a little look. It's hard to tell because it's an opaque bottle, but it looks like, and the product is white, so it's like white on white, but it looks like I've used about half. So I am not going to measure it because I can't get an accurate measurement, but it looks like I'm at about half. So this is 30 ml. I reckon it's going to take me a few months. But I do really like this one, so I think I'll happily reach for it as a great primer for long wear. So this is the pink one, the Perfecting and Smoothing. Really, really nice. So let's add that one in. And then the fragrance I'm going to add in, I've already marked it. And the reason I'm bringing this in is I am a fragrance specialist at Mecca, which is a beauty store if you're not in Australia. It's like a Sephora, but in Australia. And I work in the fragrance corner, so I have access to a lot of fragrance. And this was like a tester at work that I won. And there's just like a quarter left. This is the Maison Francis Curtijan, the Aqua Vitae Forte, and this is an eau de parfum. The regular one is, that's not a Forte, is Toilette. I do prefer the Toilette, believe it or not. There is a whole misconception of Toilette, and that's for another video. Just because it's Toilette doesn't mean it's not good. Some things are better as a Toilette. This is better as a Toilette, but I have the Forte and I want to finish it, so I have marked it to the best of my abilities. So that's kind of where we're at. And this is like similar to the Tocca one I had. It is citrus fresh, but it's got a sparkling aspect to it. It's very champagne citrus in my opinion. That's how I describe it. And so this will be like my first spritz of the day on a day off. Just, it's a perfect day-to-day kind of fragrance. And that's kind of like what I like to put in Project Pan. Things that are easy to wear, easy to use, so I can be more inclined to use it for everyday wear. Fragrance and makeup included. So we're gonna add that one in. That will just mean I have one less bottle on my shelf because it's only a quarter, there's only a quarter in there. So I have quite a few bottles where there's just a tiny bit left, and that's what I kind of wanna get through. But also I don't wanna Project Pan my favorite ones because they're expensive to repurchase. So this one I'm happy to use up. I do love this fragrance, but like I said, I like the regular, not the Forte, more. So I'm going to add those in. So that is everything. I really hope you enjoyed this update. I'm pretty pleased with myself. I'm excited for next month because I have a lot of things on the verge of finishing. So please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.